Hey everybody, it's BeginTheUprising here. This is going to be a new Enlighten the Lightsworns segment, or episode for my Enlighten the Lightsworns segment. I'm wearing this hood because my hair just really, I don't know, it's really weird. I need to get a cut, so that's why I'm wearing the hood, so excuse the hood. This episode is going to be called Shrinking Them to Our Size. What I mean by this is, of course, shrink, spell card. What I planned, this is really just an idea that I'm pretty much just venting out to you guys. Obviously our honest got hit to 1, and honest was pretty much like a hidden strategy that we have on top of other decks that it could give him like a surprise factor, more of a disruption thing, that can be activated during our battle phase, their battle phase, and, you know, potentially protect our monsters for like a next turn Celestia play, or just, you know, do more damage. It provided a lot of protection for Lightsworns because we are really weak at like 80% of the time we are really weak on the field. And hitting our honest back to 1 or down to 1 really hurt us. And you know, this card could see, I mean, not really see a lot of play. I know no one's gonna run this shit, but this could be another alternative. Maybe not something that's not as good because yeah, it can be activated during the hand, but if you want to activate during the opponent's battle phase, you're gonna have to set it and then activate it then. Either way, this is pretty much like a mini honest because it cuts their attack in half during damage calc, and not a lot of cards can be activated during damage calc, except, you know, shrink can because it's an attack and defense booster. The reason why I wanted to do a segment on shrink is because obviously our honest got hit to 1, and this could provide an extra alternative to honest, giving us extra like hidden abilities, I guess you can say, for make them play a little bit more cautious and see if you have a shrink or if you have the honest in your hand. It doesn't really combo, but it's good if you have an Arcus set on the field, because Arcus has a pretty heavy defense with 18 already, so you can, you know, set it and then they attack. So if let's just say if you're holding a Celestia in your hand and you want to save it and you want to, you know, go off next turn and blow up some cards, you can set shrink and you can set Arcus. What they're going to do is they're going to attack, probably because it's going to be a Ryko, and it's going to flip up into Arcus. And if it was to kill the Arcus, let's say if a Bogart attacked into the Arcus, it would kill it because Bogart has 1900 attack. You can shrink them, they'll take 1000 damage, and then next turn you can sack it for a Celestia play. It's just, it goes good with Arcus and stuff like that, especially if you want to save your monsters for Celestia. Let's say if you even have like a Jane or something like that on your side of the field and they attack you and they don't think that, like, they see that you milled the honest like the previous turn, but you still have shrink. You can shrink their monster's destroyed, they take chip damage, and then you can sack it off for Celestia next turn. Again, you know, if worse comes to worse, you can use it on a card trooper, because obviously you want to summon your card trooper, get your 3 mil, you know, do whatever you're gonna do. If you can attack, destroy monster, whatever, the next turn is gonna be at 400. You can shrink their monster so you can take less damage, and you'll still get a plus off a card trooper. If you don't really like the heavy life point damage to your life points, if you really can't afford it due to like warnings or judgments or like 7 tools and stuff like that. Plus, I'm going to talk about JD in a second. I want to get to these. Harmful threats that shrink could be good against is Brynak, because Brynak, if we have like a lot of field presence with like wolves and stuff like that, stuff that can give us like a dead hand. Let's say we have a Celestia and a wolf on our side of the field, which tends to happen a lot because you can always summon Celestia, mill your 4, and milling those 4, you have a really good possibility of milling a wolf. So you can have a wolf and a Celestia, and they can summon Brynak. Bounce those 2 cards, give you potentially 2 dead cards in your hand, unless you got to recharge to back it up if you're expecting a Brynak play. You'd have 2 cards in your hand. If you shrink Brynak, you can get rid of it next turn. You know, Brynak going down to, I think it's 1150. I'm not positive, half of 23. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I mean, Arcus can get over it, and Arcus was one of the relatively weak monsters in Lightsworn. Another thing is Guy Knight. Guy Knight gets over everything in our deck except for JD, so if you're holding your own with Wolves and Celestias, if they summon Guy Knight, it could be potentially a big threat. It cuts it down to 13 to where Aaron, Lila, even Garoth, and Jane can get over it. Since everybody's going to be using this card, if they're up on their side of the field, it cuts down to 1350. Like I said, Aaron, Lila, Jane, Garoth gets over this, and yeah. One of Lightsworns' biggest weaknesses is Decisive Armor, and Decisive Armor is a very, very, very good card against Lightsworn. JD cannot get over this. It has a very solid 33 stat, base stat, and if this is on the field, it can be absolutely devastating. That's why you need to get this off the field as soon as you can, and you want to have as many outs to this card at the time as you can. Having a monster and shrinking this monster and having a monster in your hand will be potentially really good, because half of 33 would be 1650, I want to say. You know, you have Lila, you have Jane, you have Garoth, you have your heavy hitters to get over it. So hopefully you can do that, and this is another way you can get rid of that potential threat. The most thing that just makes us mad is Stardust. You know, if they have a Stardust up on their field, we can JD, and we're gonna have to attack into their into their Stardust, and then main phase 2 we have to nuke their field, because obviously we can't nuke while this is up, and it gives them another turn to get JD off the field. So pretty much this just stalls them for a turn while we have to summon JD, attack. They take 500 on top of the 3000 they could have took, plus more, and then they have their turn to blow up JD. This it hurts our Celestia plays too, so if we can shrink it down to about 1250, like I said, we have regular monsters to get over it. We have Lila's, Jane's, Argus, or not Argus, but Lila's, Jane's, Garoth's, and Aaron to get over this. And like I said, this pretty much, you know, if you have anything devastating on their side of the field, like if you're playing, like if you're going up against an X-Saber guy, X-Saber synchros into Gotems, this, if you don't have like an Honest in your hand, Gotems can be a potential threat, because if you summon this or something, let's just say if you have this up on the field and they go into Gotems and they try to attack you, let's say you block the attack with like a Necro or with like a Threatening Roar or Mirror Force. So they go, you can shrink the Gotems, attack it over, and hopefully they won't have anything in response to the attack declaration to where you can get Gotems off the field. That's pretty much going to be it. So like I said, shrink is pretty much the main topic. Like I said, shrinking them down to our size, because Lightsworns are relatively low attack. So I thought that I would do a episode on shrink. Let me know what you guys think about shrink. It's just an idea. I thought about it through, maybe not as well as I should have maybe. This is really just an idea to see what you guys think on if Lightsworns could run shrink as an alternative to Honest. So that's gonna be it. Like I said, I do apologize for my hair. I am getting it cut soon. Till then, stick around. Thanks for watching. Peace out.